Alright, so we have the TRN ST1 in our table. So this is the most requested TRN. So under $20, and you get that kind of TRN BA5 kind of vibe, because yeah, the TRN BA5 is now our top recommendation, around $50. So this is under $20. Yeah, will be interesting if this can be kind of a BA5 kind of contender. Will this be our $20 king? And where does this stack in that $20 price range? So that is what we're gonna take a look at in this video. Right off the bat, you do have that kind of BA5 look, TRN ST1, and at the back you have 3.5mm jack, 0.75mm connector type, 10 to 40K, and hybrid in-ear monitor, so you have dynamic and BA. Before, the TRN V30 was okay for me, but it didn't really blow me away in terms of being a top contender in the channel. It's still very good. I did recommend that for bass heads, but we're kind of looking at more versatile kits in our recommendations. So I find that the TRN V30 for me, in terms of the mids, is too recessed. Maybe TRN listened in the TRN ST1. Opening it up, and wow, you get that. Yeah, I did get the black configuration. That is a nice look. TRN ST1, and you do get that kind of black mamba kind of design. Frankly, right off the bat, I kind of like this better compared to the BA5 because of the color configuration. So you guys know I like a more kind of understated design. Matte black everything, and look at that, guys. That is a looker, but we're gonna take a look at that in a few. Let's take a look at you get with a cable first. So cable, black cable, thank you. So you do get that entry-level TRN black cable, straight plug, and not the super duper long one, just the small one. And you do get preform ear hooks. So TRN ear hooks are kind of in the medium side for me, not the super duper most comfortable, but not so bad. Actually very good for under $20 already. I do like this kind of better compared to KZ counterparts, as I mentioned in my previous videos, because all black design, it's kind of good looking also in terms of the overall finish. So this is what it looks like with the cable put in, and right off the bat, I'm gonna give this an award already. This the best looking under $20 pair that I have seen. Look at that. It's kind of like a gem kind of design and super glossy in design. I am liking this, and I also do like that there's no logos. I like the understated kind of look. Maybe that is up to you to decide, but I'm kind of digging it. I do like the kind of minimalist design, and with that vents inside. So yeah, this is the best looking $20 pair that I've seen. Better than the KZs, better than the Nice Checks, better than the Xiaomi's, better than the QKZs. This is definitely a looker. So I will buy this for looks alone. If you are into that. And in terms of the shape, this is a kind of a shape. In terms of the shape, this is similar to the KZ ZSN PRO. It's kind of deep on the ear, and it's made of plastic and also metal in design. It doesn't have that fins though, but this is still very breathable on the ear. I don't find issues with this kind of design in terms of putting it on my ear. So overall, yes, in terms of the build quality, I am digging this look. Black design, black cable, that kind of lobe, the best looking lobe that I've seen. So let's have a listen and give you guys my review on the sound. Right now, let's go to sound. So it's a V-shaped sound, and it's kind of pretty balanced on the ear, but actually in the measurements, it has 4K peak and also a 10K peak. So much like the BA5, it has a kind of a double peak at the top, and it has that 1K recession to 2K. So yeah, V-shaped sound. And the ST1, and as you can see also from the bass region, it's not super duper elevated. So this is not a super duper bassy earphone. Definitely less bassy compared to the TRN V30. So it's a lively sounding IM, but still has that relaxed nature to it. So it's kind of like in the middle. So has some shimmer. Bass is a little bit punchy but not overly punchy. So it also has some micro detail, which is very impressive. So overall, this kind of reminds me of the VK4 and the ZSN Pro, combined, to kind of like that. So over the TRN V30, I like the mids here more. It's less recessed. So frankly, this is a case again where it feels like TRN took my comments in my previous IM reviews and put them here as improvements. So yeah, overall, I'm digging the ST1. So the highs have some shimmer, much like the ZSN Pro. Slightly less shimmery compared to the ZSN Pro, but definitely this is a kind of a BA kind of highs, airy, shimmery, extended. Can have some sibilance for some treble sensitive people, but for me actually I didn't encounter as much sibilance compared to the ZSN Pro, so this is more controlled. So my only issue here is the highs can be a bit thin, so much like in Get Lucky Daft Punk, the cymbals sound a bit thin for me. So in terms of the mids region, now a major improvement over the other TRNs in this kind of price range. So it's now lush in presentation, smooth and rich also. So like in 24K Magic, Bruno Mars punches through the mix with no issues. It's not shouty, it's not super airy. It has some air, but not super duper fatiguing to listen to. So very nice and rich mids overall. So actually for me, again, one of the best mids that I've heard. So definitely better compared to the ZSN Pros, and I would say almost in the same level as the VK4. So very nice mids. So in terms of cons, I would say that this is not super duper revealing mids. So if you have other IMs, maybe the TRN BA5 is more revealing compared to this one. But if you don't have other IMs that's revealing, this is perfectly fine for you. So it's not that veiled. It's still fairly revealing. So that kind of signature actually is very good because it's not fatiguing to listen to after a long listening session. So vocal region is very nice, I'd say. So even if it's a bit veiled, I would say this is very, very much a nice vocal region. So again, with the mids, this is a bit V-shaped in sound, so the mids are recessed here. So in terms of cons also, I would like to have maybe a 1 to 2 dB forward vocal region. That will be a more perfect IM, but this is not so bad overall. This is, I would say, close to what I am looking for. So definitely in this price range, the mids are very nice. So this gets high marks for me in terms of the mids department. So very nice and actually big improvement compared to the TRNs that I've heard before in this price range. Bass wise, this is boomy and a bit slow in presentation, so it's more in the boomy side. It has some punch, but frankly a bit mellow compared to the VK4 and the ZSN Pro. So this is more in the relaxed bass side. So this is not something for bass heads. You will find this lacking. But I do find the bass overall pleasing. So this is more of the DB3 in a way in terms of the bass region. So I would say nice and controlled bass. So for bassy kind of tracks, this resolves the bass really well and improves the separation in the bass region. So this is, I would say, still very nice bass for me. I like the overall quality of the bass. But in terms of cons, the bass doesn't go that deep. So again, for bass heads and for those who like sub bass, this is not super duper deep in terms of the sub bass. In terms of the detail, is fairly good. I would say impressive for the price range. This has a micro detail, much like the VK4. So the detail here for me is better compared to the ZSN Pro, especially in the mids region, and I would say kind of in the same level as the VK4. But I will still give the edge to the VK4 because the VK4 has better mids compared to the ST1 for me. Response is fairly fast. Soundstage is above average. Imaging is also above average. Separation is good with the above average stage and fairly clean presentation on top. Separation gets good marks for me here. The VK4 is still a bit better for me though in terms of the separation. It's kind of a mature ZSN Pro in a way. It's still lively. It's actually more shimmery compared to the VK4. It still has that liveliness in the sound because of that elevated 4K to 10K region, but it's not overly done. However, compared to the VK4, actually the VK4, they're frankly close to each other. So the ST1 is more shimmery on top, has more toned down bass. The mid-range and the ST1, though better compared to the other TRNs, the VK4 is still more revealing. The ST1 has a bit more toned down, relaxed kind of mid-range. So if you kind of prefer that, maybe the ST1 is for you. The VK4, in the other hand, has a more revealing mid-range, has more toned down highs, no peak in the highs, which is nice, which makes cymbals has better body and less thin sounding. And the bass also in the VK4 is more punchy, more lively. So You know, they're kind of trading shades at each other. Or to the TRN ST1, there's a lot to like here. You know, nice build, black design. I would say actually best designed under $20. In a way, in the same level in terms of the overall sound. So overall, in terms of sound, actually on the ear, this is a very nice listen. It's definitely a kind of a mature TRN. What I really like about this is it has kind of a nice tuning overall. It's very nice on the ear, and it's not super duper peaky, not super duper shimmery compared to the ZSN Pro. Kind of mature kind of sound, the double horns, which is much more like in the TRN BA5. It's a, you know, very nice listen. This is the best $20 TRN that I've heard. My favorite TRN out of the bunch in the $20 range, and definitely competes with the QKZ VK4 also. So yes, you know, if you're a TRN fan and you're looking for under $20, this is something that you can pick up. I like this better than the ZSN Pro and compared to the VK4. They're kind of just trading shades at each other. So yes, for $20, I would recommend this. In my top 5, I will still reveal that in the future, but yes, you know, for now, this is, I would say, a very nice IEM by TRN. I would definitely recommend it. Of course, if you learned something, leave a like and subscribe for more content like this in the future. Happy holidays, guys, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.